FS1's getting you ready for Daytona Day. Look at those 4 drivers who own 6 Daytona 500 wins. Among them, February 26th, 1 p.m. Eastern, the Daytona 500 on Fox. We can't wait to bring it to you. So much is new this season, and we've got 10 days to explain it all to you before the green flag waves. So Jamie McMurray finished up 5 laps on track. He is 3rd of 3 drivers in the rundown.
Yeah, what he's talking about is heights. That's what these crew chiefs, they plan over the offseason to come down here. They want to get the back of that car and those skirts that you see running alongside the number 1 there, and they want to get those skirts sealed down to the racetrack as much as possible. That's what's going to help this car cut through the air with the least amount of drag possible, give that car the most speed. But I will say, in looking at some lap times, Keselowski Logano got a pretty good edge on the competition of the 4 cars that have gone out so far.
Yes, they do. McMurray finishing up, Danica Patrick coming out on track, and Larry Mack, all single car runs so far.
Yeah, and they're obviously not practice qualifying runs because the field was set by that drawing that you mentioned. But talking to a lot of crew chiefs, we're going to see some drafting. I think the Toyota drivers are going to be out there get together, the Ford drivers. But what several crew chiefs told me, including Alan Gustafson for Chase Elliott, we know weather is threatening tomorrow. We're supposed to have a 4-hour practice. We feel like that may be abbreviated. We want to learn some things tonight to just make the car run faster by itself that we could apply to the Daytona 500 car if we don't get all of that practice.
Yeah, and you bring up a really good point, Larry Mack, because tomorrow there's so many cars. You got 40 cars trying to make qualifying runs to get ready for qualifying on Sunday. So this is an opportunity of far less cars, a nice open racetrack for them to get some good quality laps in and understand maybe what they're going to deal with for qualifying in single car runs.
You heard Jamie Mack say car pretty good in 3 and 4, a little loose going into 1. Well, if you look at the wind, got a little bit of a headwind down the back. So you're pushing a little headwind going into 3. The car's going to feel a little better getting in there because of the headwind. Slows it down just a tad. Then you're going to get a nice push, a real good tailwind into 1. It's going to push you into turn 1 a little faster than what you think you're going, and that can make the car a little bit loose.
Yeah, and I think a little bit to go along with that, DW, is whether the car was bottoming out and over some of the bumps. You want them to get close to the racetrack to seal up, but if it starts hitting too hard, now you're causing too much friction and losing a little bit of speed.
And when the car is bottoming out, it's like hitting a brake. You're literally hitting the track, slowing the car down. It's like hitting a brake.
You hear that? That's a joyful noise right there.
Yes, it is.
That's keeping rhythm.
Running a high line here for Jimmy Johnson. I don't know if that's what his plan is for qualifying, then he'll go back down to the bottom if he's just trying to get the car wound up, or maybe he's checking the heights as well, or just wants to run up against the wall to see what it's like. But be curious to see what he does over the next lap or 2. Got a 360 camera on the roof there. I love it.
What a year for Jimmy Johnson. Who would have believed that in yet another new format, he could come down to the final event at Homestead, Miami, and when Joey Logano took Carl Edwards to the wall, it was Jimmy Johnson out front, where he stayed to win his record-tying 7th NASCAR Premier Championship.
We just came off the Super Bowl, and you watch Tom Brady and Belichick. That's what Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knaus remind me of. They run their race, and they wait for the other guys to beat themselves. And that's exactly what happened at Homestead.
Individually, DW, these guys are incredibly good. Together, they're beyond great.
It's magic.
During that race, any one of the 4 drivers could have won it at a lot of different times. Jimmy was the highest ranked of those 4 for only 7 laps of that race, including the last one.
And you showed the highlight there, and I think we could sit up here and debate all day long whether Joey took Carl to the wall or Carl took Joey to the wall. But it certainly changed the outcome of that championship in a big way.
Let's hear what Jimmy has to say about this run.
Seems like there's a lot more aggressive bump entering one. I haven't seen that before. You'll have to ask him when he comes in.
Yeah, that's actually Earl, spotter. I think he's reading the bumps from high above, but he's probably just seeing sparks. He's seeing more sparks come out behind the car. We saw a little bit of that with Joey Logano earlier, and that probably is telling him a little bit. He's just giving information to the team about what he's seeing of all the cars that are running and how they're hitting the bumps.
See, one of the things I think makes Jimmy Johnson great, he will listen to everybody, and he will, if he thinks it's something that'll help him, he will apply it.